But what we've just been talking about is living a meaningful life. And some of the things you were saying to me were so important about your book that you're writing, this new book that you're writing.
I'm interested in ancient mythology because I think what the ancients did that we don't do is they paid attention to the minutest details of human life. What is it to be a human being and to not only survive in the world, but to thrive and live a meaningful life? They talked about it constantly. We act as if that's just not a category. What I realized as I'm writing this is I got very sick a few years ago and almost died.
Whereas,
I went through some really rough times. I am realizing that in order to get clear about what it is to be alive, I need to understand some of these deep things. I need to understand what my relationship is to the big questions. Mythology says it does matter. We need to find ways to get in touch with what that means for us if we want to be happy in our individual relationships with each other and in our relationship with ourselves. One of the things that I love about the ancient myth of Persephone and from the ancient Greek myth is that Persephone's myth tells us we will die and be reborn many times in our life. And but to me that means the person I have been no longer works, and I need to reconfigure that.
you're also studying Malidoma Some's work in
Yes.
West Africa and their initiation cycle. And you've been reading a book by Wole Soyinka about that part of West Africa. Um, you were talking about how kids go into the bush, boys go in and girls go separately. Um, and, you know, in Malidoma Some's book, what's the title again?
Of water and the spirit.
Of Water and the Spirit. The boys were gone for 6 weeks. He was gone for
Yes.
6 weeks, and you're scared to death. And his year, one boy actually did die, and that's not so common. But that this is a passage that is incontrovertible. You can't not do it. You have to do it. And
Always, yes.
yes,
All
how wise people were to make this.
what
How
Malidoma says, his book is so beautiful. I mean, the thing to do is read it for yourself because it'll change your life. But he says we need to understand the unseen world. So we
right?
in modern life we're aware of some, we're aware that electricity, you can't see electricity, but you and I are talking and it seems like magic. Um, and we know about the tides and we know about human emotions and all sorts of things like this. And they're saying there's much more to be seen. And we
Mm.
are living partial lives if we act like it's not really there. It's not weird. It's not woo woo. Among the people who said it's important to understand this strange esoteric stuff is Albert Einstein,
Mm.
who said, the intellect is our guide, but we must not take it too seriously. There are deeper things that we need to understand if we want to live a good life. This is Einstein. So
Hmm.
we need to understand these deeper things. Also, Meladoma is saying we can't keep wanting to protect ourselves from the truth of what
Hmm.
life is like. Be willing to look at the truth because that's where the deepest beauty is. And it reminds me of Joseph Campbell, the great expert on mythology, saying, the deal is go and face the truth, and that's where your great discoveries will become. That's what will change your life. The way Campbell put it is, see, where you stumble, there lies your treasure.
Hmm.
The cave you were afraid to enter turns out to be the source of the joy you were looking for. Absolutely. All these myths help us understand what it is when we feel that we have failed, when we feel we're not up to it, when we're facing things that are just unbearable. And every human being must deal with this. We
Mm.
all have to deal with this. The
It's
beauty,
non-negotiable. That's right.
yeah, and the sense
You,
of being valid and real and connecting with the world, we can't survive without.
so the reason I'm questing is I have all the tools, I have all the pieces. I'm putting together a program that's like my Claim Your Calling program, but it doesn't, it's not for people, it doesn't have to just be a calling. And I'm trying to figure out what to call it. I'm trying to figure out what this is that allows people to live what they think is a meaningful life. I know that this is not a nice to have. And we were talking about the distinction that my coach in Clients on Demand, Russ Rufino, wonderful guy, makes between a nice to have and something that's absolutely essential. I don't want to charge like a super high price, but I do want to be paid for my work. And the only reason someone should pay me is because my work is essential to them in restoring the core of meaning to their lives. I've been calling that live your devotion. I'm not wedded to that. You resonated with that because we can be devoted. We could be devoted to our child. We could, and that could be a calling, but we might think of it a little differently. We could be devoted to God. We could be devoted to our work if we're careful and we're not just being work addicted. There's something that's essential to me that I've been questing for my whole life. And I think I always felt sort of apologetic about it. It's like,
Yes.
well, I can be over here and function as an adult. You know, I'm doing all the adult things. I'm working, I'm financially self-sufficient. I have a relationship. I had a child. I raised my child. I'm in this phase now. I'm 65. You know, I'm in this phase, which is not looks nothing like retirement to me. It looks like coming out rather than pulling back, which is what retire means. And I'm very interested in making it safe and providing a platform, a foundation to put under people who want this also, this thing, this meaning for their lives, and helping them not just find it. My guess is they already know what it is, but live it. So where does the money come from? Where does the time come from? How do we focus enough to do that and the rest of our lives? This isn't a program for hermits. What is the mindset? What patterns do we need to break? What new patterns do we need to embrace that allow this to become a seamless part of our lives? And you said that that was really connected with what you were doing in your book. First of all, that you have to write. You write to know what you think. I'm similar. And you have to write. And you're writing this book about having almost died twice and what it's teaching you. And you're looking to these other wisdom traditions like Persephone and like Malidamos Domosome's culture for inspiration. I don't know if there's more to say about it.
I would, yes. And I would say I'm 81 years old. So
Mm,
it's natural for someone my age to look back on his life and say, what did you do that mattered to you? What was the
mm.
most rewarding thing you did? And I would urge people to look at when you want to look at your calling or your devotion, what is it you kept trying to do over and over and over again?
Mm.
What is it you yearned for so deeply that you just never could quite give it up, even though we're all busy leading our lives, being parents, trying to get our work done, taking care of the house, I mean, taking care of our health. But what is the passion that really moves you and fills you with exhilaration? If you can learn to get in touch with that, then the beautiful things that you're talking about, that you do so beautifully to help people bring to life what this is, I would urge people to look at it. What is it that needs to be brought to life in your life?
I put it in such a funny, different way. It's like, what will not let you go? What keeps pestering you?
Beautiful.
What will just not let you go? Where,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
yes, your whole life. Like that's how I feel about it. But it's very much the way. So you can keep living your life, but you know you're not really living your real life until you
Absolutely.
turn and face this thing, face this call, face this devotion, face this God, face whatever yourself, whatever it is, like face it and live it. That's what I want is to, it's not a little nice thing. It's not something we just do on Sunday or like once a year. This is a thing that I want people to know you can do all the time. And it changes your life and it animates your life. And I want to speak to this political moment. This is a very hard moment for a lot of people,
Yes.
regardless of where in the hell you are on the political spectrum. It's very like everything is being kicked out from under us. Well, what gives where does our access, what gives us a foundation? Where are we? Who are we? It can be very hard to find that if we're looking out there somewhere. But this
Yes,
thing in us is giving us that access. It's giving us that connection between earth and heaven, earth and sky through us. It's telling us who we are. We
yes,
can live it.
yes.
I feel like it's such,
Melanoma,
yeah.
melanoma says there's a sickness in the world. There always is. And we're going to go down if we don't deal with it. And the way we deal with the collective sickness is we start with ourselves. Maladoma
Mhm.
talks about that. This is a man who was trained to be a shaman in West Africa, but also had a
Multiple
PhD.
degrees, yeah.
You know, he actually had two PhDs, one from the Sorbonne, one from Brandeis.
Oh, wow.
So the guy knows all these ways of thinking, and it's really important to do this. This is we now and Soyinka makes another point that's very clear that comes out of an African understanding, I think. When we work to improve our lives, we improve the life of the community.
Mm,
These are not separate.
mm.
And
I
so I
want to,
think that you're
yeah.
really on to something very exciting that needs to happen.
Seems incontrovertible. Like that's the word I used earlier. You cannot get around it. You can pretend, you can die and get reborn, in my way of thinking, and have to deal with it, but you cannot get around it.
Yep,
Wow, Tony, thank you. That's
wonderful.
great. Wonderful. Do you know the name of Soyinka's book?
Yes,
As a matter of fact, wonderful.
it is. Myth, literature, and the African world.
Show it to us since you have it right there. That's great. Just so people can see it. Oh, wow.
That
What a beautiful
interesting. And
cover.
it was published in 1976, which
Oh,
happened to be
wow.
the exact year Malidoma was going through his initiation ritual.
Oh, that's very interesting. All right, I'm going to stop recording.